Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, in Israel, the nuclear deal with Iran is of course a non-starter. This is certainly not unexpected. Israel's concerns about the deal here have very little to do with Iran acquiring nukes. Israel could care less about the actual details of the deal. Iran supports Hamas and Hezbollah, and Israel wanted to use the nuclear negotiations as a backdoor to curb that support. But the Obama administration and the other partners in the deal quite rightly insisted that these are separate issues. Israel actually wants a war with Iran, but they want us to fight it, not them. The nuclear deal will not prevent Iran from pursuing its own interests in Lebanon, Palestine, Syria, and the rest of the Middle East. Incidentally, right now relations between Iran and Hamas are a bit frayed. Iran supports Assad in Syria while Hamas supports the rebels, and both have fighters in the area. It's quite possible that Hezbollah or Iranian fighters could find themselves actually in battle with Hamas fighters in that area. Things in the Middle East are much more complicated than we here in the United States are really capable of understanding. The most obvious example is that Iran is actually much more active in the battle against ISIS than we are, or than any of our allies are. There is also the problem of how Israel and many of us here in the United States see the sanctions. We and many in our Congress and many people throughout this country see the sanctions as punishment for an evil regime. And so the sanctions should stay in place forever to punish them. But the rest of the world sees the sanctions as what they are. A way of pressuring Iran to go to the negotiating table and to abandon its nuclear pursuit. And now that they see that they have succeeded in that, they are eager to get back to doing business with Iran, as long as it complies with the deal. If we collapse the deal, the sanctions will fall apart. The rest of the world will go back to doing business with Iran and simply ignore any attempts by us to keep the sanctions going. Even if Iran goes back to pursuing a bomb, the rest of the world will not follow our lead. We can continue our sanctions, but without the support of everybody else, they will be ineffective. When you really think about it, Iran is not giving up much by not pursuing nuclear weapons. They are expensive to build and maintain. Essentially, Iran has been spending a lot of money to build a weapon that is very unlikely to be used. You have to remember that Iran ramped up its pursuit of a nuclear weapon during the Bush administration. Iran quite rightly saw the Bush administration as irrational actors and felt the need to build a nuke as a deterrent to us using nukes on them. Now Iran feels less need for that nuclear deterrent now that the Bushies are gone. So Iran is less likely to cheat on the deal than we think, because they have a lot more to gain from sanctions relief than they do from actually having a nuclear weapon. So if the deal holds, the US wins, Iran wins, and the rest of the world wins. If our Congress derails the deal, Iran wins, the US loses. Thanks for listening.